Hello everyone, and welcome back to Turkish series stars. It feels so good to have you here again, because today we're diving straight into the kind of story that grips the heart and keeps it beating to the rhythm of every whisper. We're talking about the words of love, the sentences that stick to the skin and live in the soul, and we're following them through a journey that has moved so many of you. We're going to step into the glow that surrounds Barış Arduç and Elçin Sangu, and explore how the right words, spoken at the right moment, can be as powerful as any grand gesture, any red carpet moment, any scene that left us breathless. If you're ready to feel the butterflies again, if you're ready to exhale and maybe wipe a few tears, stay close, because this is the kind of emotional ride that reminds us why we come back to love stories again and again. Before we sink deeper, take a second to hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because on Turkish series stars we serve emotion with a side of honesty, gossip with a heartbeat, and stories that make you feel seen. Your support is the light that keeps the camera rolling. Now, let's talk about what lasts. Not just sparks and glances. Not just the magnetic pull and the blush that says too much. What lasts, what builds, what endures, is the language that two people create together, word by word. It's the promise tucked into a sentence, the courage hidden inside a confession, the tenderness carried by a single syllable. And when we look at Barış and Elçin, when we piece together moments from interviews, behind-the-scenes giggles, shared silences, and the way they've learned to speak without speaking, we find a map of love drawn entirely with words. Do you remember that first time when a simple declaration changes everything? It might not have been shouted from the rooftops. It might have come like a wave that knew exactly where to crash. That tiny, explosive truth, I love you. Not just letters. Not just a script. It's the crescendo of quiet gazes, the echo of laughter that lingers long after the joke fades, the warmth left on a sleeve after a hand leaves it. Imagine Barış carrying that sentence like a secret too bright to hide, and imagine Elçin answering it not only with her own words, but with the stillness of someone who knows she's just heard a home calling her name. That's where it begins, in the hush where everything changes and nothing is said in exactly the same way again. There are sentences that feel like a blanket on a cold night. Sentences that whisper, I see you, I understand you, I accept every piece of you. Those are the jewels that never lose their shine. When Barış speaks about Elçin, there's this quiet reverence, like he's describing something discovered rather than invented, something rare and unrepeatable. When Elçin speaks about Barış, she does it with a mixture of gentleness and clarity, the kind of emotional intelligence that lifts someone up without making a spectacle of it. The way she says his name can sound like a promise, and the way he looks at her can turn a single word into a lighthouse. There is one confession that travels like a tide and leaves the shore different when it recedes. You are the safe harbor where my soul rests. Picture those words landing after a long day, after the noise, after the rolls and the lights and the makeup come off. That sentence doesn't simply declare love, it sketches a shelter. It marks out a space where storms can exhaust themselves at the door. It says, I have found the place where I can arrive with all my fears and walk in unafraid. For so many of us, that's the horizon we chase. To be recognized and held, to be met exactly where we tremble and told, you can set your bags down here. Promises matter, but only when they carry the weight of intention. In sickness and in health, in the bad press and the good headlines, in the lonely hours and the crowded rooms. So often we've seen the way a look from Barış can say, I'm staying, and the way a smile from Elçin can answer, I'm not going anywhere either. These aren't empty phrases stitched onto a perfect picture, they are anchors dropped into deep water. When a promise comes with that kind of gravity, even the dark can look less frightening. True love becomes a compass you can trust, pointing to the same place no matter how wildly the world spins. Admiration is another language entirely, and it's one we don't speak nearly enough. It's different from praise, softer than applause. It's noticing the hidden effort, the grit under the glamour, the kindness that shows up when no one is watching. Barış admires the way Elçin holds herself in storms, the way she turns pain into poise and never loses the spark in her eyes. And Elçin admires the steadiness in Barış, his loyalty to people and principles, that quiet nobility that refuses to make noise just to be heard. Each word of admiration becomes a mirror that reflects the best in the other, and that reflection can be a lifeline on the days when doubt is louder than hope. But what happens when the lights dim and the bravado falls away? Vulnerability becomes the bravest outfit of all. It's saying, "I'm scared of this, I don't know how to carry that, I've stitched my heart too loosely today and I'm afraid it will unravel in front of you." The way they meet each other in those moments is where the real love story lives. It's in the gentle, "You're not alone, I'm right here." It's in the unspoken, "I would rather sit with you in your silence than dance alone in my noise." They make room for the fragile things, and in doing so, they make those fragile things strong. Listen to how they describe each other when no grand performance is required. Eyes like stars mapping ways out of darkness. A smile that softens the edge of the day. A laugh that unties a knot you didn't know you were carrying in your chest. When Elçin says, "Your love has given me back my faith in life," it feels like a doorway swung open. When Barış answers, "With you every day is an adventure I want to choose," it sounds like courage. These aren't enchanted lines written for a scene. They are the kind of declarations that change the color of the ordinary. They turn a Tuesday into a chapter and a small dinner into a memory you keep on your nightstand. We love grand gestures, but love usually survives on small ones. It's the quiet good mornings, the soft rest wells, the plain thank you for being here that accumulates like treasure in a shared drawer. It's the mug waiting on the counter, the coat held out at the door, the message that simply says, "Got you." Those small words carry big trust, and they build a rhythm that you can dance to even on clumsy days. Watching how Barış and Elçin stitch those little phrases into their routine reminds us that the extraordinary often hides inside the ordinary, patient and sure. What we admire most is the authenticity that threads through everything. There's no plastic shine, no rehearsal lines, just feelings that step forward without tripping over their own need to impress. When Barış admits, "You're the reason I wake up wanting to try again," it doesn't sound like poetry, it sounds like morning breath and real life. When Elçin answers, "Your love is the gift I never knew how to ask for," it lands with the weight of something earned. The truth in those words ripples outward, and we, watching from our seats, feel a little braver about speaking our own hearts aloud. So here's what their story of words teaches us. Declarations matter when they're real. Promises matter when they're kept. Admiration is nourishment, vulnerability is strength. And love, the kind that endures the seasons, is a language you learn together and keep refining with every sunrise. The phrases we dismiss as simple can heal more than we realize. They can steady a trembling hand, quiet a bad memory, open a window in a closed room. Through the lens of Barış Arduç and Elçin Sangu, we see that love isn't just felt. It is spoken, negotiated, mended, and renewed, syllable by syllable, day by day. To everyone listening, thank you for sharing this moment with us. Maybe you're remembering a sentence you wish you had said. Maybe you're gathering the courage to say it now. Maybe you're treasuring the words someone gave you when you needed them most. Tell us what line cut straight to your heart. Which promise still glows when you close your eyes? Which admiring whisper kept you steady when you felt like falling? We want to hear your story, because your words matter too. If this touched you, give it a like, send it to someone who needs the reminder, and make sure you're subscribed to Turkish series stars so you never miss the next chapter in the lives and loves that inspire us all. Until we meet again, hold on to the phrases that keep you warm, speak the ones you're afraid to say, and remember that love, in all its forms, is the loudest, strongest force we have. And when in doubt, return to the simple truths that never fail to find their mark. I see you. I understand you. I'm here. Those sentences can build a world, and if we're lucky, that world will look a little like the one we've glimpsed through the words of Barış and Elçin, bright enough to guide us home.